The next one's from Invisible Handjob.
Is that
Yeah, it spells it HANNJOBB. Handjob.
That's tremendous.
Subject is WWF
Was that
accusations.
Juventud?
Yeah. I don't know. Hi, boys. The invisible handjob of pro wrestling here. Nope, over here. Oh, just kazoo that.
All right, wait. This sounds like hugely.
A source of mine who believes the conspiracy theories sent me a YouTube clip of Vince McMahon and the WWF at the time being accused of sexual harassment. Not too sure at first if this was real, but there was another clip which had Meltzer with his Jungle Boy hairstyle. Unfortunately, I cannot find that clip with Meltzer, but have attached this one. The discussion of footage begins at 7:21. Konnan, Disco, and Joe, do you know anything about this, and what can you tell us? Also, Disco meet at the Korean barbecue spot in Vegas. The invisible handjob pro wrestling. Bro, I'm not interested. This is stuff from 30 years ago.
30 years, yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this, Joe? Did you even look at it?
It's it's probably the Donahue thing. Yeah, it's Donahue and all those.
For how long?
All those daytime shows that talk.
How long is it?
It's a 17-minute clip. He said if you start at 7.
Yeah, I'm not listening.
Yeah, we're not watching 10 minutes. Listen
join our watch along tier if you want us to do this.
Right. If you want it, right, we'll do watch along tier. But I'm going to say this again for guys like you: keep the short, whether it's letters or videos. This is not long form. Putting anything long form.
We're not having a Senate hearing on these questions.
It's actually
right.
I
remember that. I remember that.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember.
It's Vince, Meltzer, Barry Orton, and Murray Hodgson.
Right on the
and
Donahue show,
that's
25 years ago, where they're accusing him of using steroids and McMahon's denying it.
Yeah. And Murray.
So
and Murray
if you want us to go through this, get on the watch along. Boom.
Next is from Luke Ryan, and the subject is Russo versus Bischoff. Hey guys, as a listener of 83 weeks, there's been a really large rise in Bischoff taking shots at Vince Russo. Really seems like anything from TNA or WCW that wasn't a hit. Bischoff then goes on a long rant about Russo being horrible and killing WCW. For my opinion, though, shouldn't Bischoff get the blame for WCW dying off because he's the one who made all the massive contracts? Konnan and Disco, if either of the two deserve the blame, who between Russo and Bischoff is more guilty? I'm not saying that either is solely responsible. If you had to point the finger, which one? Happy holidays, guys. K100 is my favorite podcast, and hopefully in 2021 some live shows can be possible. Number one is bro, all these guys are the dirt sheets and Eric just kind of ignore every single thing that happened in WCW the day, from the day before Russo got there to everything before it, and just thinks all of the WCW downfall started when Russo got there. You know,
and the funny thing is,
they when he got there, Vince in because we were getting killed, Joe. So yeah, it's it's kind of weird.
You got to remember a couple things. They brought Russo in and Eddie Bear Ferrara, okay, when WCW was not doing good to try to save it because they were like the big writers from WWE, right? Then you also had a group of wrestlers that were very loyal to Eric who did not want to work with Russo, and anything Russo wanted to do, they weren't with. Okay. Now, Russo did do some matches that I really didn't pay attention to at the time, but when I went back and looked at them, I thought they were brutal. All those Judy Bagwell on the forklift pole and the piñata, all that was stupid.
What about Viagra on the pole? Kidman versus Shane Douglas.
Yeah, that was stupid. But at the end of the day, this is what I've always said, and I love Eric to death. If you're going to take the credit for everything the company did that was good, you also need to take some of the blame for it folding, okay? But Bischoff wasn't the only problem. There were ego problems amongst the main eventers. They never let the middle card guys through. There's a lot of politicking. There's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of blame to go around. You can't blame one person.
It's this simple, okay? There was a glass ceiling with the mid-card guys.
Right.
Right? And that glass ceiling was taking place on Monday night. Okay, and the company was doing very well. It was everybody was making money, and people were getting bigger contracts and everything. So then, because the TV ratings,
can I say something, Disco, real quick before I forget? Yeah. And let me tell you the big difference between WCW and AEW. All those mid-card guys that were held back, okay, Disco, Eddie, Jericho, all of those guys, Malenko. Okay, they were ready.
Raven.
Because when they went to WWE, they all became stars. In AEW, they're trying not to be like WCW and give a chance to the mid-carders, but they're not ready. Right. They should be on dark. Right. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Right. So basically what you had is you had a successful show. People are getting more money, but there's no integration between the mid-card and the top guys, right? Because the top guys just don't want to work with the main card guys. So out of all the success, what happens is, and this to me really was the downfall, is you splinter off, and now we're spreading this product out into 2 shows.
Right.
We're going to add a show called Thunder, but we're not going to change the dynamic where we're not elevating any of the mid card guys into the top tier. So the problem that we had at the time, we basically added more TV and spread that out, and giving the fans more content of the fact that they just were not letting the mid-carders get over. And what happens to your product? Got very stale. And then the other show is doing Attitude Era stuff and The Rock and so on. And bro, that's what turned it around, right? So now think about this. Now you're getting beat in the ratings, okay? And you're literally now they're taking the guy that's beating you in the ratings and bringing him in to come take your place to work with this crew. What do you think the political situation is going to be like? Well, give me a perfect example. Could you imagine Mike Tomlin is a very popular coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? You think for 1 second if they fired Mike Tomlin and brought in, because Jim Harbaugh's beat him 10 times in a row and brought Jim Harbaugh in to coach, you don't think Jim Harbaugh would going in with their the type of rivalry they've had and stuff. You think that'd be a good work environment for him? Going and working in Pittsburgh
right.
with that.
And not only that, not only that. Since the war back then was real, a lot of people didn't want Russo in there. They didn't want nothing from WWE. You know what I'm saying?
They thought he was like a plant or something like
right.
that. Like the Vince McMahon was sending him over here to ruin our shows.
So imagine you're writing a show where you've got at least 8 to 10 guys who are not going along with the plan, don't want to go along with the plan, and are actually doing things behind your back for you to fail.
And look at where you came from.
Right.
Where you get they're doing everything you tell them to do. We're killing the other show in the ratings now.
Right.
Because they're doing everything you're telling them to do, and they're doing it great. Now you're going here, and these guys don't want to do what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
But
you can't blame this on Russo or Bischoff. There's a lot of blame to go around.
Because here's the thing. If TNT would have known in the year 2020 that you could be doing a 0.3 rating,
right? We'd still be on the air.
$40 billion. We'd have been on the air for the past 20 years.
Right.
Okay? So it's so that's the thing. That had nothing to do with, you could sit there and say maybe Bischoff's fault, but bro, Bischoff, Russo, nobody would have taken wrestling off of TNT.
And Bischoff was trying to save it. He was trying to buy it.
Right.
Right. And they
sold it here we are.
$2 million. Give me a break.
Yeah,
they didn't want the show. There was a guy that didn't like wrestling. He didn't want the show, and we got kicked off.
Yeah. So blaming everybody, that's the deal. It's nobody's fault,
right?
Because they're not the ones that close up shop. People above them did. So